I'm in Ohio right now, and a lot of you have asked me, girl, how much do you make over the road as a truck driver? I've been in this industry for about 8 months now, but 6 of those months I was teaming with a very lovely teammate. I was so fortunate, she was great. Over those 6 months, I made a certain amount that a lot of you could see as really bad. So, I didn't have any endorsements going into this, so no hazmat, no tanker. I didn't have my TWIC card, and if I had those things, I would have seen a bit more pay, so a few more pennies to the mile. I live in a state called Florida in the United States. It is seen as the island of America because there's only one way in, and that's from the north. And there's not a lot of like exports coming out of Florida. There's a lot of tourism, but that's really it. I also lived below this interstate called I-4, and therefore a lot of companies did not want to hire me just because of that. Just because it would be so hard to get me back home for when I did take home time. I had to see a deduction in pay just from that. Like, I didn't have any criminal charges, my age didn't matter, it was just where I lived. Orientation was $650 for that week. They paid for my transportation, they paid for my accommodation, which was sweet. It was awesome, it worked for me. I really needed that. After that, I got on a trainer truck for about 21 days. My first trainer and I did not mesh well. I got off of that truck and I got onto a different truck with a trainer who had to drive through the mountains and snow and all of that, and that was very beneficial for me because I'm a Florida girl and I have never driven through mountains or snow or anything like that, and so his expertise was very needed. I got paid about $700 a week that I was on that truck for. Once I got on the truck with Jennifer, we made a whopping 54 cents to the mile that we split in half, which is just fine. So I made 27 cents and so did she. That was when we were loaded and we had freight in our dry van. Once we did not have freight in our dry van, so it was just an empty, we made a whopping 12 cents to the mile that we split in half. So I made 6 cents and so did she.
Whoa!
When we were bobtailing, so no trailer, no freight, just the truck, we made nothing. And you know, I get that, but when you're bobtailing all over Ohio for a full freaking day, you get kind of pissed off. And that day turns into a second day. You're like, what am I doing out here? I want to go work for freaking Panera Bread. Pay wasn't the best, and I knew that going in. It's getting really hot in here. I think it's like 100 degrees outside, and I'm like starting to feel faint. I was in Dallas the other day, and it was freaking 111, and I swear that concrete was like 140. So, if you can still hear me, I hope you can. We got layover pay as well, and we had a lot of layovers for either maintenance or we just couldn't get a load for whatever reason. And it ranged from $50 to $74 a day. We'd reached the 18-hour mark, and they're like, oh, we got you a load now. And we're like, okay, well, are we gonna get paid for that? And more than not, we wouldn't, so. And then typically we would do a lot more miles than what we were getting paid for. For whatever reason, don't know why, that happened every single time. So we would have to say, hey, dispatcher, the shortest route is actually X amount of miles. The ones that we're getting paid for is a lot lower, like 100 miles lower or 200 miles lower, or, you know, even 50 miles lower. Can we please get paid what we're driving? And I'm not referring to, oh, I want to take this route because it's prettier and it's longer, so I'm going to get paid more. No, I'm talking about the shortest amount of miles. So that pissed us off a lot. All right, so how much did I make my first 6 months over the road teaming? Well, the gross amount was, I need a drum roll, please, because this is kind of epic. I made grossly $16,443.59, dude. Radical. Okay, I must say, I knew I was going to get paid a lot less going into this. It worked for me, And, you know, there's a few things that we could have done differently. We could have done rolling resets instead of taking a full 34. However, we decided, because of how we are as adventurous people, we decided to go explore on that 34-hour and get a lot of sleep. So we would take advantage of that. If we decided to do rolling resets, we would have made a lot more money. Definitely. If we never went home, we would have made a lot more money. If we had our endorsements, we would have made a lot more money. There you go. Can you live off of that for 6 months? If you can, consider trucking. It gets a lot better. I will tell you that. I'm on my 8th month. I left that company after 6 months, and I'm making a lot more money now. I'm not just with trucking, but with also YouTube, so I feel a lot more comfortable. I can continue this career, and I feel good about it. I've always heard this from every trucker. After your first year, you're actually making a good living. So just keep that in mind. If you're able to handle that first 6 months and that first year, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. Thank you so much for watching. I hope my transparency helps you figure some things out for yourself. Drive safe. Bye.